It's time now for the Athlete of the Week, and it's brought to you by Diamond Point and Sauk Center here on Midmnsports. And with us today is the Melrose athlete. This is Ashley Reverine. Well, we'd like to start out and talk about your family. Who's in your family?
I have a mom named Laura, dad Mike. I have two twin brothers, Brandon and Derek, and then I have a sister, Courtney, who is also on the swim team.
All right. So twins, what grades are they in? Or what grade are they in?
My brothers are in 7th grade and Courtney is in 9th grade.
All right. What activities are you involved in here at school?
I'm in basketball and swimming, and I'm also in NHS.
Okay, we'll talk about NHS here first. Okay, what is that all about?
Basically, the main purpose of that is to do a lot of volunteer work. It looks really, really good on resumes for colleges. And basically, it's getting together with a lot of good athletes and good students. And it's a big group of, working hard and volunteering for everyone.
Can you tell us about some of the projects that you've had so far?
We haven't done any projects yet besides making a poster for our cafeteria, but we have an NHS walk that we do during the year. We have a Halloween, we go trick-or-treating and all that, and we collect food and cans and stuff like that, and that's basically a few of the projects that we do.
So for Halloween, you're dressing up as?
I haven't figured that out yet, but I got a little bit of time yet.
How about Hans?
I could do that.
Okay.
I think I'd scare a few people, but.
All right. Let's talk about this swimming. You're getting near the end here now as a senior. You've had the state true team meet so far. You've got the conference and the section. What events are you in, first of all?
I swim 100 backstroke. That's my main event. I swim 100 freestyle. I'm on the 200 medley relay, and I'm also on the 400 freestyle relay.
So summarize the true team state meet for us. How did Melrose do?
Nathan's main goal was to get in the top 10, and we got 9th, so that was good for us. We are in our hell week, if that's what you want to call it, so we were all a little bit sore and all that, working the kinks out, but other than that, we did really good. We were really happy to be down there.
You know, as you mentioned that, say like this practice that you just got done with, it seemed a little intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that different than from what you normally do?
So usually we work more technique and not as hard sprinting or harder kick sets. We don't always work, but during our hell week, we work all-out sprints, endurance sets. We work constant kicking sets, and it's just more like hard-on stuff all the time. There's not many breaks or anything like that.
So, for example, how many times up and back did you do today?
Let's see, I would say over 500 for sure.
Is that right?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a lot during our hell week.
How does that compare to, can you put it into miles then?
Well, okay, so today I believe we did around like 5,500 yards, we'll say, and usually we do around under 500 for sure. So, and all of the difference between this week and the rest of the year is this week we're doing all sprint sets and all endurance and longer distance sets. So usually this week is just pounding, and it's a lot harder than usual. Yep.
I've got to ask you this though. There has to be some days that you said to yourself, I don't feel like doing this today.
Yeah.
Yeah?
A lot,
so
especially this week.
Well, how do you get over that?
Being a captain on the team, I know I have to have a good attitude. I have to pump up my team, and I know I have to get through it. And we have a week and a half of this, and then I know it's taper, and we get easier from there. So you just got to have your goals in mind and, strive to do your best. That's all you can do. You
use that word taper. Can you explain to me and others, what does that mean?
So taper is when we slowly start getting easier throughout the end of the season, and we do that because we have our hard week, and then we gradually get easier, so then we can swim very well for sections and hopefully make it to state.
Now, you've had swimming down at the U of M. How many times have you personally been there?
I have swam there 8 times, and I'm hoping to make it a 9th time when I hopefully swim at state.
Take me back to the very first time you went there.
Yep.
What did you see? What were you feeling? and then we'll get into how you feel about it now. But what was it like the first time you walked out there and you see, what are you seeing?
So the first time that I went was a 7th grader. We made it to True Team State, and I was amazed because I had never seen a pool that big, and I was in a fast suit and all that, and I was really excited because it was my last meet of the season besides conference. I was pumped. I was so excited.
It's big, you got a lot of people, a lot of swimmers out there, and again, you just have to handle this, and maybe your focus changes as the years go on then, right?
Yep. It was more, the next few years, it was more about like how cool it was to be there, because you never know if you're going to make it the next year or not, because it's really a big deal to make it there, and it's not easy. So it was more about like taking it in and being happy to be there, and always swimming the best that I can when I'm there.
So then, as you go, hopefully again this year, what is your approach now? You're not looking around at the bright lights and all the people. What are you now focused in on?
I'm mainly focused in on what I need to do for my team, and hopefully just to reach my goals. That's what I'm striving for.
Now, as you compete, would you say some strokes are better than others, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your main your stroke?
So I mainly swim backstroke, but my favorite stroke is definitely freestyle.
So what are the differences there? Why are you better, say, at backstroke than, say, freestyle?
I've been swimming backstroke since I was little, and that's just what I was good at. I had pretty good turnover right away, and I've always been working on my underwater kicks and my turns, so I do pretty well there in my backstroke.
As you compete then in a race, before you're done, before you even look at the clock, can you kind of sense on how you did?
Yes. Mainly for backstroke, you can tell if you have a good time or a bad time depending on your start and your turns. If you miss your wall on your turns, that's usually an automatic second off and stuff like that. And usually you can be able to tell depending on how sore you are and how fatigued you feel. But if you feel really good, usually you'll get a better time.
Can you take us a little inside too with how the coaches help you out, maybe some tips that they give you? What are some of those things that they tell you, for example, that this is what you need to be doing here?
Something that's really cool about Nathan is after every single event that we swim, he always lets us know what we need to work on, what he saw, and usually when he talks to me about fixing things, he'll say like, work on your turnover, fix your turns, faster underwaters, and stuff like that.
I've heard him say, when you're, say, freestyling, and you're breathing out the one side and you shorten up your stroke on the other side, right?
Yep.
So how do you work on that?
Most of the time, if we work on techniques, we always try to work on that during practice, and that's usually just something you narrow in on during practice. And
as I see you practice too, then sometimes you use the fins, sometimes you use the paddle boards. What are you trying to do with that?
So when we use kickboards, usually that's when we're working like our kick sets, and that's usually when we work our legs. And with Hell Week, we're working our legs a lot. Other than that, we use, what else did you say? Kickboards and
the fins.
And the fins.
Yeah.
Yep, we also use fins because that works different muscles in your legs.
So how much training do you do, or are you hitting weights? Are you conditioning on the land? What are you doing?
We do 45 minutes of weightlifting before we swim. So we work on stretching out our muscles. That's what we start out with. And then we do like hardcore weightlifting with Sandy. So that's what we do on land.
One of the things too is, I'm sure you see, it takes all sizes, right? Everybody has a different build, different strength.
Yep.
How do you use your size to your advantage?
I wouldn't say built, but I would say I'm long enough that I can work on having a better endurance when I take a stroke. So that's what I would say my positive is, I guess.
Yeah, so again, from when you first started, when did you first start swimming? You said 7th grade?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how have you improved now that you're a senior? In what ways have you gotten better?
I've definitely, my mindset has changed a lot too. I had really good seniors and mentors ahead of me all throughout the years, which has been really awesome for me because it made me care more and more about swimming every year and work harder and harder.
You know, as you mentioned that that you had other people in front of you, who are some of those people? It's always fun to mention some names.
So the one year we had like Maria Maleska, Rachel Kolzer. They were really big mentors for me. We had like Jordan Hellman, Michaela Van Walde, Diana Nathy, Savannah Bitts, Gracie Drossel.
So now as you have learned from them and you are now a senior, do you sense that the younger ones are looking at you, and how do you handle that? What do you say to them?
Absolutely. I always try to have a positive attitude. That has been my main goal this year. I always try to pump them up and make everybody laugh. I'm always cracking jokes during practice whenever I can. I just want to be a good mentor for them, and swimming is hard enough the way it is, so I think it's always good to pump up the swimmers and make practice and meets as fun as I can.
Hey, I was out in the hallway. I'm going to cheat here for a second, okay?
Okay.
Because I took a picture of, you've got all that stuff out there in the hallway.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And so I want some other answers, though. You have to expound a little bit more.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich? And explain.
I put yes.
You put kinda.
I thought, if a sandwich is between, usually you take 2 pieces of bread and you put something between it, so I guess I'd say a hot dog is a sandwich.
Okay. Your other question was, if you had a warning label, what would it say?
Oh yeah.
You said?
I'm blonder than I look, yep.
What does that mean?
Well, a lot of people on the swim team would obviously refer to me as the jokester, as I said before, so a lot of the times I like to act a little goofier than I am, especially for when I'm on the swim team,
So does that lead us into this question then? Do you have any unusual talents? I'm going to put you on the spot here.
Yep.
You said, what did you say here?
I said I can laugh in almost 100 different ways.
Really?
Yeah.
Just give us a couple letters.
Sometimes I have a wheeze, sometimes it's like loud, sometimes I sound like my mom, people tell me. Other than that, yeah, it's different every time.
Okay. This team this year, as teams in the past, I'm sure you've experienced that everybody gets along so well, and it's just such just to say it's a great team. How does that all come about, and what do you do as seniors then to try to keep everybody together?
One thing that I've noticed throughout the years is all of our seniors and the rest of the team, we have so many kind girls, and all of these girls strive to do well in school, well in sports, and they all care about each other, and that is one thing that has kept us going throughout the years with having such a positive team and such a fun team, is everybody's so nice to each other.
Again, I like to, because you always have younger athletes watching this too, just to ask you the question, somebody that's in 4th and 5th grade and they're watching this too, why would they want to be on the swimming team?
It's fun, it really is. All of the girls are so kind on the swim team. I'd like to say the seniors have always been really cool. Nathan is an amazing coach. He's absolutely hilarious, and I like swimming a lot. It's enjoyable.
Here's a pass in. Rademacher with the catch. Getting close. Had her shot blocked. Tips it back out. Recovered, though, by Littmer at half court. Revering drives down. And she scores. A basket for Ashley Revering. That's her first.
We have to touch on basketball because that's kind of around the corner too. When did you get going with basketball?
I would say right away, as soon as kindergarten, I'd say.
And you've got a good core of seniors on that team too. Who are some of those girls, and how do you get along and pump each other up, and just describe the basketball team at this point right now?
So we have our seniors, Micaiah Littmer, Ashley Rademacher, and Kinsey Wentzman. It's pretty cool that we've all been together since we were very young, so we have a lot of chemistry, and I think our team will be a lot better this year because of all that chemistry that we've had, and now with Coach Reller, it's his 3rd year coaching, so I think it's really good for our team in that sense to have all of us back together with all that chemistry.
Yeah, with Coach Reller, maybe we could talk about the philosophy that he brings to the team. Can you kind of describe what he's trying to get going with the basketball program?
Yep. I think he's very, very motivated. He is always looking directly at how can I improve my team? how can I make my girls better? What can I do to be a better coach? I think he always zooms in on things that he can work on. He never takes like okay for an answer. He always wants bigger and better for our team.
It seems to me he wants you to understand the game.
Yes,
doesn't
absolutely.
He? Yeah. So how have you grown with that, say, compared to when you were younger and what you're trying to do now? How have you learned that?
I would say I have learned more from him, obviously, like the techniques and stuff like that, because he's definitely been a basketball player for a really long time. He's taught us more on techniques and just more about the game and the understanding of the game. I just think I've learned from him as a coach a lot more than I have in all of the years that I've been in basketball.
You know, and even as you play too, you've got to say, Micaiah, she's going to score. I don't know how you look at yourself. Are you a scorer, a defensive player, or what do you trying to what do you bring to basketball yourself?
The thing that I bring the most to our basketball team is the defensive side of things. I'm definitely more keen or better at defense. That's probably my main thing right
because,
now.
Because again, you do rely on Littmer to score.
Absolutely, yeah.
Ashley has to score.
Yep.
Right. How is the team going to be this year?
I think we will be really good, like I said, because of the chemistry we have. And we worked very, very hard this summer. We scrimmaged a lot. We did Alexandria League. And we worked very hard in the gym this summer. I think we've all been working really hard in our other sports too, getting stronger in the weight room. I think we'll be very good this year.
It seems to me, just give me a general feel on just female athletes here at Melrose. Again, in the fall, there's a lot of sports to go out, and but everybody seems to be taking part in something, don't they?
Yes. We have such a good program with sports here at Melrose, just because everybody either really cares about their grades, really cares about sports, or both, and I think that's great.
Yeah, we've touched a lot about athletics, as you mentioned grades. How is school for you?
Good.
Yeah.
It's a little bit harder this year with college algebra, I'll say, but other than that, it's easier than junior year, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, do you end up taking a lot of college courses if you can?
Yep. I want to double major in psychology and criminal justice at Moorhead, so I've been taking a lot of psychology and sociology classes as well.
You know, to be able to do that, you really get a jump start, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. Save a lot of money too, so.
Yeah, so once you get done in your senior season here, or senior year, how far along in college will you be?
I will be a year ahead, if not a year and a half.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty awesome.
Earlier out, and then what kind of a job you looking at then?
I haven't decided yet, but I know I for sure want to do something with psychology. But because I'm also aiming towards criminal justice, I could also work for the government.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right. And how did you decide on going up there?
I toured Moorhead and the Fargo area, and I loved it immediately when I stepped foot on the campus. I'm more of a homebody, so I kind of wanted to be a little bit closer to home, and the 2 hours was just perfect for me.
I always like to ask an athlete too, got a lot of relatives?
Yeah, I'd say so.
You do?
Yep.
Do they offer their free advice for you?
Yeah, not a lot of my relatives went to college, if that's what we're pointing on, but a lot of them want me to be really successful and want all of us to be really successful, and so they're always pushing us, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying so much in swimming.
Yeah.
Maybe they do that too, but in basketball, I'll bet you do here to basketball though, don't you?
Yeah. My grandpa was in basketball, so he comes every single game he can, and same with my grandma. And he's always telling me what I should work on and all these techniques and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool.
Ashley, you got to shoot.
Yeah. He does say that.
Yep.
Rademacher faking, stepping through, uses the left. Rebounded by Revering. And she puts it in. So Melrose working hard on the glass.
Hey, congratulations on what you've accomplished up to this point, and good luck in the future, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
That's been Ashley Revering. She is the Athlete of the Week, and it's brought to you by Diamond Point and Sauk Center here on Mid-Minnesota Sports.